Hi, folks. It's Jim from New Hampshire Card Hunters, and I'd like to welcome everybody back. We've got a brand new video for you tonight. We are going to be opening up some 2023 Top Series 1, and we've got some hanger boxes right here, as you can see, 4 of them, and we also have 5 fat packs. So hopefully we'll be able to find something good out of there. We'll see how the baseball gods are going to treat us. And before we get going here, just a couple of quick notes. As we say in every video, but we'll say it again, everything you see here, all of these cards, every one of them we're going to be giving away. Okay? There is no cost to you except for the 1 cent that you would have to go through PayPal for us. But other than that, everything you see here, no matter what we pull, autograph, relic, 1 of 1, platinum, whatever, we're giving it all away. Okay? You don't need to be a subscriber, although we'd like you to be a subscriber. You don't need to be a Patreon member. You don't need to be subscribed to be a channel member. You don't have to,
There's no hoops.
don't donate any money or anything. You don't have to do any of that. All you got to do is just be here, watch the videos, leave us a comment, say drawing in the comment somewhere, and you're good. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, programming note is that we also have a section of this video that we're going to be talking about some things related to baseball and possibly other sports in the future. But we call that On the Docket. And in our On the Docket segment, we're going to be talking about the 2023 class of Series 1 here, the rookies that got a lot of hype during the time of this release. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I got the first lady of baseball with us, Michelle.
Good evening, folks.
And we're going to take a quick look here at the information regarding Series 1, 2023. So let's take a quick look here. Okay. Hang on 1 second here.
He does elevator music really good.
Right, yeah. Let's see here. Let's go back here. Okay. Okay. All right, so as you can see here, this is the information on 2021 Topps Series 1. 2023 Topps Series 1. And it's just a quick overview, so let's run down through it real quick. And as you can see here, we'll be talking about the design a little bit. And we got the gold cards. Also got rainbow foils, gold foils. You get the idea, green foils, orange foil board, and so on. And they're numbered anywhere from, as you can see here, from $4.99 all the way down to the platinum, which is 1 of 1s. We also have the 1988 35th anniversary. And that has autographs as well. And some of the inserts, which is all aces. I happen to like that one. It's pretty good. And what else we got here? We got 1-2 punch, 30-30 club. We got more autographs. Heavy lumber is a possibility, and the AKAs, which will basically take the player and use his nickname. Of course, you got the home run challenges, which are long since gone, but we don't have to worry about those. And there are cut signatures. I mean, they're long shots, so we're not banking on getting any of those. But there is an outside shot. And we've got Major League Material, manufactured relics, which we don't have to worry about here. Silver pack programs, which were in the hobbies and jumbos, and so on. And like I say, the checklist is pretty extensive with rookies, but we don't want to waste too much time on that. We want to get right into this. So we'll get things going here. Okay. And transition back. Here we go. All right. So there's your little. I wouldn't call it recap, but your introduction to 2023 Series 1. And like I said, some of the rookies we'll be looking for here is Adley Rushman, Riley Green, Brian Bayo, Gunnar Henderson, Michael Harris, along with J.J. Bleday, Corey Lee, Tristan Casas. We got Brett Beatty, Hunter Brown, who came out of nowhere for Houston, Shea Langoliers, Jonathan Aranda, and Kyle Stowers, who's having a great year down in Miami. So we'll be keeping our eyes open for those, and hopefully we will find a few of them in our adventures in card breaking. So here we go. All right, let's get this reel on the road, Michelle. Let's move these. I'm gonna move these fat packs out of the way. Move a couple of these hanger boxes to the left. So this is for those of you who have seen a lot of these openings regarding fat packs and hanger boxes, that type of stuff. We know, you probably know as we know, that the odds are long here, and that the likelihood of, let's say, getting an autograph or getting a relic is long in these hanger boxes, also in the fat packs. So, but we'll see what's going on. As our dog's barking upstairs, we can hear her. So just got interrupted there by our Wonder Girl.
Yeah.
She's obviously animated by something up there. Probably heard something out on the street somewhere. Okay, here we go. Let me just adjust this down a little bit. There we go. That's better. First hanger box.
I think I'm gonna go check and
Yeah,
see what's going on with
why
her.
don't you go check on her for a second? Huh. I don't know what's going on up there, but obviously she's animated. All right, here we go. Gavin Sheets, Manuel Margot, and we got, let's see here, we got the Tigers with Green and company. We got Marcus Stroman, Pujols, Cade Cavalli, Tyler Wells, Robbie Ray, Michael Massey, Zach Davies, Hassan Kim, and Yordan Alvarez. Tony Gonsolin, he just came back from injury to the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman. Abraham Toro, he's a Red Sox. And Willie Adames, who is now with the Giants. O'Neill Cruz. And here he is, the polar bear, Pete Alonso. Adley Rutschman, that's our first rookie right there. We'll set him aside. Sleeve him up a little bit. And Aaron Judge, huh? What about Aaron Judge? He is having a fantastic year. Hitting just slightly under 400 at the time of this shooting of this video. But he's throwing up some big numbers, and boy, he is a person to deal with. I mean, he's a monster. All right, let's turn these things around. Ivan Herrera's having a good season for the Cardinals. And here we go with some of these landscape cards. You got Chisholm and C.J. Abrams. And Ryan McMahon, who's off to a really slow start for Colorado. Boy, Colorado was really, really struggling. Huh, Michelle? I mean, geez, they only got about eight wins.
Sorry, I gotta slide back in here and get back in character.
Right. What was she doing up there? Anything?
Who knows?
Yeah. So
Tucked in the backyard.
So we're just talking about Ryan McMahon and Colorado. I mean, they're awful. It's too bad, Tanner Scott.
They're not the only ones underachieving, though.
No, not by any stretch of imagining. Yeah. Here we go with some stars of MLB, as you'll see plenty of these. Gorman, and Buxton, and Baez, and Guerrero. Okay, here we go. We're going to get into the whatever good stuff we're going to get right here. Get Brian Hayes, 88, and welcome to the club. Jimmy Rollins. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot more in here. So Jacob DeGrom, Bellinger, Alex Cobb, Josh Naylor, Matt Chapman, Christian Vasquez, ex-Red Sox, Austin Meadows,
Now twin.
Dylan Bundy. Yeah, right. How about those twins?
I tell you, my brother is a Twinkie fan from way back, and well, a nod to him tonight wearing the helmet.
Oh yeah, they what they won 13 in a
13 in a
row.
row.
13 in a row.
Oof.
Yeah, they are amazing. Miller, Luis Robert. He's not doing anything. I mean, he just can't get out of his own way. Kevin Kiermaier, there's Shane Langoliers. That's another one of the rookies we were talking about earlier. Put him with Adley. Cedric Mullins, Alex Wood, Jonah Bride, and turn him around one more time. Pavin Smith was having a good season with Arizona. Jake Cronenworth, they just got swept by who they get swept by? Let's see here. The heck did they get swept by? Yeah, they just finished up that series anyway. Coben Burns, Josiah Gray, Dylan Cease, Shane McClanahan, Ian Happ, and Gallegos, Vargas, Santander, Sewald, and the final card of this first hanger is Nolan Jones. So, pretty uneventful there.
Couple of rooks.
That's about it. All right, let's get into the second one here. So, I don't know if anybody pays attention to what the early morning show in MLB, but they were talking about the San Francisco Giants and how they how every game they take one person, usually an older person, and they have them get on one of the sidelines, either the first base sideline or the third base sideline, and they during the game, and they get to field foul balls, right? So
Oh boy.
so
It doesn't sound like it's going to end good.
So they had a guy. I'm gonna say he's like, I don't know, around 70 or something like that. Late 60s, up around 70. Anyway, he's like, you can they're showing like the early shots of him, and he's all pumped up over there. He's pounding his glove, and he's waiting for his first opportunity to field the ball. Well, they hit this routine foul ball down the first base line. He jumps right out of his chair like there was a spring under it, right? And he goes running for the ball, and the ball like short hops him, and it hits him, down around his legs, and it bounces off him, and he goes to try to pick it up, and then he stumbles, and he falls to his knees, and then he tries to hold himself up with his elbows, and that collapses down, and he just kind of almost just about face plants into the ground. It was like watching an old lawn chair fold up. I felt bad for the poor guy, but he tried as he may. There was just no way. He couldn't hold himself up.
Just sounds like an accident waiting to happen.
Oh
and
God,
why
yeah.
are they doing that?
I have no
I
idea.
hope they have them sign waivers so that if they get injured, they don't get sued. That's crazy.
But I was like, I mean, he just.
That's rude laughing at him, Jim.
Yeah, well, he just collapsed to the ground.
I know, that's rude.
Yeah, but even the guys on MLB to
That doesn't make it any better. You shouldn't be laughing at the guy.
But he went down like a
Older gentleman.
like a sack of potatoes.
This is what I have to deal with, folks.
Oh
That's
man,
rude.
that was pretty funny though. So I got a kick out of that anyway.
Yeah,
But,
apparently.
yeah. So but they show like these follies. They show like fans in the stands and that type of thing. All right, second hanger here. Here we go.
Good
Murphy, Piguero, Grandal. I'm gonna move this camera just over here a little bit. There we go. A little more light here. Diaz and Toronto young stars celebrate. Look at that, huh?
Next gen.
Yeah. And there's Verdugo, Big Brave, O'Neill, Grissom, Mateo. Spin him around. Here we go. Evan Lee. Jeez.
Spin it again, Dad.
I know. It's like, come on. This is the one thing I hated about 2023. You know, always spinning these around. Cal Quantrill, Hernandez. We got Gregory Soto. Spin him around. Gutierrez. Here's Alvarez again. Gonsolin. We've seen these. Toro, Adames, O'Neill Cruz. Future stars. He's been sort of a bust, huh? Kikuchi. And then we got, let's see here. Arizona Diamondbacks. And Celebration for the Angels. They're playing good ball right now all of a sudden, huh? Coming out of nowhere.
Yep.
And where's the pitching leaders? I think, let's see. Yeah, wins leaders, excuse me. Wright and Urias and Darvish. And let's see. Teoscar Hernandez. Garcia. Nick Pivetta. See what else we got here. Rafael Devers. 8 home runs, 8 RBIs today, 2 home runs in the first game of the doubleheader. The second game was rained out. Of course, he hit one of them off of position player. Yeah. Joe Barlow, we got a gold card. That's pretty good.
There you go.
It's not bad. Take that. Jordan Romano, good closer. He's having a lot of trouble right now for Philadelphia, but he is a pretty good closer. Let's leave that up. What do you say, Michelle? Let's leave that bad boy up.
It is a gold card.
All right. It is a gold card, right? Reminds you of that that Xfinity commercial, right? When they got the Infinity's booming. This one's even golder. All right, let's put that over there. Okay, here we go. Stars of MLB again. Guerrero, Green, Chisholm, Acuna. And one of these is a chrome, right? Which one is the chrome? Oh, this is the chrome right here. Here we go. That's the chrome. We'll put that over there. All right.
Yeah, well, Bregman, that's not no.
Yeah, but that's a chrome. These aren't chrome.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
Not a
Here we go. 1-2 punch. Rodon and Webb. And there's Bayo. There he is. He struggled today, folks. He only went 4 innings, 7 strikeouts. Not a bad performance, but he just couldn't put away guys with 2 strikes. Keenan Thompson and Helsley. Spin him around. Peraza, Castro, Jordan Lyles, Savvy, Taylor, Rogers, Sam Mole. And let's see, Palacios, Merrill Kelly, and Fernando. There he is. It's a pretty good shot of him right there, actually. You know, I like the design of this particular year. I don't like the design of the 2025s. I'll tell you that. Get into that. Derek Hall, Matt Strom, Edmund, Beatty, Lucas Giolito. He was going to start tonight, but no way. Not now. Tomorrow. Brandon Lau, Brendan Rogers, Escobar, Christopher Morel, Paul Blackburn, Marino. One more time. Oh, look who it is. It's Juan Soto. Hey, there he is. The $765 million man who's hitting about 254 right now. Yeah, he's tearing it up.
Is he hitting that well?
Yeah, it's
Boy,
about. I think
it's
254. Yeah, last I checked. Bryce Harper and
Crochet had his number.
yeah, Encarnacion, Ian Anderson, Duvall, and Castillo. All right. So far, not a lot happening. 1 gold card. Okay.
1 chrome.
1 chrome. Couple rookies. Looking for something a little better than that, right, folks? Come on now.
Those Red Sox gods are not happy with you for laughing at that old man. It's gonna come back to bite you.
Well, you know, what are you gonna do? I mean, you know,
You're gonna laugh at him again if it happens again.
I'll tell you one guy that I laugh at all the time is Alex Cora.
No,
Alex Cora. You know,
don't get me started.
if there's any Red Sox fans out there, don't leave us a comment on how upset you are with Alex Cora because he stinks.
Or if you have a perspective that might tilt our way of thinking in an opposite direction, love to hear what you're thinking.
Well, yeah, if you love him or hate him, yeah.
Just
Tell us
like
what you think. That's
right.
all.
We're not against being, hearing both sides of a story.
No, it's true. I mean, but let me tell you something. Alex Cora's blown about 6 games this year for the Red Sox. And he's a terrible manager. He's been a terrible manager, and they still win in spite of him. So, there it is. All right, next.
Tell us how you really feel.
Right.
Let's go through. Let's
right.
go through these cards.
Okay. All right. Next hanger. Here we go. Scooble, who by the way, Cy Young Award winner. Nice. Gibbons, Sheets. Man, we've seen these. Margot, Stroman. Go a little faster on these because we already seen them. Pujols, Cavalli, Wells, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray is having a good season for the Giants. G-Men. Michael Massey. Mark Appel. Max Stassi.
Oh man.
Vogelbeck. Man, talk about a guy who,
Yeah.
hasn't missed too many buffets, huh?
He's just the poster child for what a big leaguer should look like.
Sure. Hernandez, Soto again. Okay, let's turn these around. No. What are these guys doing? Having a little doing a little two-step there or something. I'm not sure. The Texas two-step.
Well, it's Texas Rangers, so
Right.
they could be doing the two-step.
All right, and then we got the star power. There's the boys. Bellinger and company. Muncie. All right, what we got here? We got
Looks like they're having
celebration
some fun.
in Seattle. Yeah, that's Julio. Okay. All right, what else we got here? We got Darren Ruff. And we got the Braves. And home run leaders. Yep. Judge, Trout, Alvarez. Pretty good trio right there.
Mm.
And then we got Thompson. And the Blue Jays. And we got a home run challenge. All right. There you go, Buxton. Sorry. It's not good anymore. And we got, we got, let's see. Shohei, Wanda, Harper, Ramirez, and then 88, Graham Ashcraft. There's another guy. People really don't talk about Ashcraft, but he's having a good year. He's a pretty tough pitcher, and Reds really haven't figured it all out, kind of like us, but they've got the firepower. Jose Ramirez, welcome to the club, 30-30. And Miguel Cabrera.
Miggy.
Yeah, Miggy. All right. Brady Singer. Again, a lot of promising guys here. Seth Lugo, Jesus Sanchez, Jacob deGrom, Bellinger again, Cobb, Naylor, Spinham, Travis Swaggerty, Grichuk. Let's see here. Garcia. And Albert Amora and Vladdy. Looks like he must have.
Vladdy with the dreads.
I think that's a game winner right there. What do you think? Game winner?
Looks like it.
Game winner? Probably. Votto. Brad Miller. We'll see if Votto gets in. I'm not sure he will, but, Shane Langoliers again. We'll put him over there. And Jaron Duran. Nesta.
Wow, he looks so young in that one.
Yeah. Cody Clemens, Rogers' kid. And Carlos Carrasco, one more time. Matthew Liberatore, Burns, Gray, Cease, McClanahan, and Okay, so far we're
Pretty vanilla.
hitting about 120 for our batting average. Not good.
Not good. When Soto's hitting better than you are, that's not good.
talking about the Orioles too a little bit. Talk about a fall from grace, right? I mean, they they fired their manager Brandon Hyde, who, by the way, managed them to a 101 wins season. And the general manager, the management group for the Orioles didn't do anything. They let Burns go. They let Santander go. They brought in Charlie Morton, sure, and they brought in O'Neill, Tyler O'Neill, but they really didn't hardly do anything. And I mean, and then
And
then
O'Neill's
you've
not
got
doing anything. He got hurt.
well,
He's
no,
out,
but
and-
but I mean, as a team,
right.
they're like what 17 games under 500. You've got
They had all that potential.
well, yeah, and but Rutschman's not doing anything much, and then you've got Gunnar Henderson has been subpar, and Jackson Holliday's been very average. So none of these guys are really carrying the team. They got what? Is it Kerstad? Heston Kerstad? I think he hurt or something. One of those guys is hurt. I didn't really pay attention to the injury report on them, but yeah, and this is a classic example of really, I mean, Hyde just had nothing to work with. So if you don't have, as a manager, if you don't have the players, you can manage as hard as you want, but if you don't have the talent there, or what limited talent that you do have isn't producing, then basically, it's going to be you're going to be hitting a taxi pretty soon and giving you walking papers.
Well, I don't know. Well, look at our guy.
Oh, I know. Well,
he gets a pass every time you turn around. Oh, he's the world's best manager in the whole wide world. He doesn't know how to manage a bullpen.
Right. Well,
Ramon Vasquez did a great job when he was.
He was great.
He was great.
2 games.
2 games in a row.
2 games, 2 wins. Yeah.
2-0.
And then Cora comes in the next game, blows
Well,
it.
Womp, womp, womp.
It's terrible. He stinks. It's awful.
Yanks Crochet with 85 pitches. Give me a break.
He wasn't happy about it. I'll tell you
Oh
that.
no, Crochet wasn't, but he let it go
Sure.
for the team.
Sure. For the
Anyway.
team. Oh yeah. The kind of competitor he is.
I know.
He just assumed, push Cora right out of the way. Said, "All right, get back to the dugout. I'll let you know
I'm
when
going to 100.
I'll let you know when I'm tired."
Exactly.
Kind of Bob Gibson scenario.
Yeah.
Laura, Brandon Marsh, Scherzer, Cal Mitchell, my pal Cal, Prado, Contreras, and Brandon Crawford. Jonathan Ronda, there he is, tearing the cover off the ball down in Tampa Bay, folks. Yes, he is. Josh Rojas, Hugh Darvish, and Appel, Stassi, Vogelback again. We've seen these guys, huh? We've seen them, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen? That's the Mets boys. Have a little group hug here coming up. And Bobby and the gang.
Do it.
Yeah, and we got a little RBI leaders this time, huh? Judge Ramirez Tucker. Yeah, why not? Uh-oh, who's getting the Gatorade? Who's getting it? It looks like somebody from... Who is
Welcome home, Buxton.
Oh, the Twins. Yeah, right. Buxton. Here we go. Thank you. And what we got here? And two guys getting ready to bump chests. You got Alonso, right? Who's that with him? Is that Beatty? Who's that? I can't tell. All right. There's Michael Harris, rookie. That's one of the other big ones, and we're gonna talk about him in just a little bit. Starmont. Seen this one, and we got the Cubbies again, and the Brewers again, Dodgers again, excuse me. Here we go, Stars of MLB, coming up to good stuff. What are we going to get?
That was a good one of
Rutschman?
Lindor.
Yeah. And nice and shiny. And then we got Brett Beatty, and 30-30. I don't know if we got anything out of that, Michelle, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a lot of nothing there. It was on a...
Yeah, but
Fall
you know
off, huh?
what? If you're a Mets fan, that Lindor card is a nice one. And,
Sure. I mean, but I want to
money
get.
wise, nah.
There's not much there, right?
But
Blake Snell.
if you're a fan,
Sure, but right now we're hitting about like I said, we got the gold card. That's about it.
We're dipping under 100 here.
Oh, no doubt. McCormick, Clark, Casse, excuse me. And turn them around again. We got Horace Gonzalez. There's Keston Huria. Kirby just came back. Garrett Cole out for the year. Ethan Small. Christian Pache in the Arizona Diamondbacks minor leagues right now. Patrick Wisdom playing in Japan. Yada Molina. JJ Baudet. That's a good one. It's only hitting 200, but hopefully he gets it going. Kendall Graveman. And Corey Seager. Tristan McKenzie. Romano. Presley. Eduardo. And Garrett Cooper. All right. So there you go. So there's 4 hangers in the book. We're gonna take a little break here, and we're gonna swing into our section called "What's on the Docket." And in this particular section, we're gonna be talking about, as I mentioned earlier in the video, we're gonna be talking about the rookie class in the 2023 Series 1, the major players, the ones that everybody was hyping, the ones that everybody kept talking about and wanting to find, and the autographs and the relics and short numbered cards and all that type of stuff. And so we get to review how these guys are doing 2 years later. Okay, so the first guy we're going to be talking about here is, let me get my list out, Adley Rutschman. Okay, now Adley Rutschman had a great 2023, and we're gonna take a look at that right now. So let's let me just go over here. Let's go. Let's hang on a second. We'll bring up his stats here in just 1 second. And yeah, Adley had a good year. Home runs average. He's a switch hitter, good catcher, good defensive catcher, and so on. And he really is quite talented, although what I will say is he is really struggling this year. So let's take a look at Mr. Rutschman here. As you can see, in 2023, he had 20 home runs, 80 RBIs. He had a 277 batting average. OPS was pretty formidable. He came in at 809, slugging percentage at 435. Now, if you look at his 2024 numbers, good but similar, but the average dropped off, slugging percentage dropped off, OPS dropped off, and in 2025, the average has really dropped off. He's hitting just around 200. That might be a little bit higher, but let's call it 200, like we see here, and then a slugging percentage of just over 300 and OPS of slightly over 6. So short of his defensive abilities, and what we can see here, ladies and gentlemen, is that his numbers continue to drop, and I think part of this is probably because of the number of games that he catches. And, I think everybody needs to understand here is that catching is probably the most difficult job, I would say, short of, like, let's say, a pitcher throwing 30 starts, right? I mean, the absolute catcher's position, you take the foul tips, you take a lot of, up and down. It's hot, it's grueling, and you get a lot of little bumps and bruises along the way. And what I would say here is that based on that,
Well,
I think that plays into it. Michelle, go ahead.
that does play into it, but I also, those superstars come in and those rookies, they catch off guard, they catch by surprise, and then the pitchers start making adjustments. So that also comes into play. You know, in your next year, the pitchers are going to have a little bit better idea of how to pitch to you.
Yeah.
You know, so that always happens too. And then it's a cat and mouse game: who adjusts better, and who can make the adjustments on the fly, etc. But I think you're dead on as far as, you know, the toll that catching takes on
Yep.
a player. You know, if he had someone that, you know, would do like a, to use a hockey analogy, an Allmark and Swayman, you know, 50-50 split, allowed both of those guys to literally flourish in their positions. But Rushman is just, he's just a workhorse behind there. So one thing, you know, do you want him to catch really well, or do you want him to hit really well? Because he can't, I won't say he can't, but most likely one of them is going to suffer.
Right. The one the one thing to keep in mind here with a guy like Rutschman is that I know a lot of people in 2023 and probably in 2024 were like buying up his stuff, right? You know, buying up his rookie cards, his
Pressure.
autographs, and all that. You know, all that hype. I mean, you know, of what we heard from every major breaker who was out there. You know, influencer. You know, buy this guy, buy this guy. You know, he's the real deal. All I would say is I would tell people to pump the brakes on a guy like Rutschman, only because, or for that matter, anybody
Any rookie.
early in their career,
Yeah.
because we don't, you know, 1 year, 2 years, that really doesn't give you a lot of length here as far as what we think this guy can turn into, because I've seen some guys that, you know, sometimes takes 3 or 4 years, and then finally they come
They
into their
bloom.
own, and they have that 5, 6, 7, 8 year run of really solid numbers. I think the troubling factor here, that what we're seeing with a guy like with Rutschman, is that his average is falling off, his power numbers are down, and they were pretty even 23, 24, but now we're starting to see those numbers drop. So when you compare him to other catchers, let's say other Hall of Fame catchers, guys that, you know, if you think a guy like Adley Rutschman can be a Hall of Fame catcher, then the question is, what types of numbers does this guy have to throw up? If you're going to be a 20 home run guy and you're going to hit 277 and you're going to knock in 80 RBIs or thereabouts, is that good enough to make you a Hall of Fame player?
Me personally, no. It depends on what he does defensively too. If he's going to do that, meanwhile, he's top 2 or 3 and throwing guys out, and, you know, defensive runs saved, and, you know, blocked pitches, you know, and if he can hold up all of that stuff and do that offensively, okay, maybe he gets in the conversation. But you'd have to be an exceptionally good defensive catcher to have those kind of offensive numbers to be put in the discussion, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, and you don't, the other X factor there is you don't know what kind of person they are. How are they going to handle the pressure of being the guy? How are they going to handle, you know, all the hype?
Well, wouldn't you say that Adley Rutschman is the leader of the Orioles right now? I mean, I know he's not the captain, but wouldn't you call him the most recognizable leader of that team? I mean, he's the guy that's always out there. You know, he's the cheerleader. He's the guy that's,
Yeah.
you know, going out to the pitchers and talking to teammates and all that, and leading by example, I might add.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at, you know, some of these other players that have been put up on this pedestal, and how, you know,
Right.
I'm not talking just catchers now. I'm talking like these people that have been self-proclaimed, or by other people proclaimed to be the next coming.
Right.
And within a couple of years, they're not even half the player that everybody expected them to be.
Right.
Why? Because their head got too fat? I don't know. Because they couldn't handle the pressure? I don't know, but it's a true testament to the kind of player slash person they are. If they can have all of that excitement and attention and still perform,
Sure.
because
One
that's tough.
right. Let's just take a quick look at a guy, a Hall of Famer that we can maybe um, compare him to,
Okay.
and see if those numbers, early numbers, look like this guy's numbers. And the guy we're talking about is Johnny Bench. So here we
Oh
go.
boy.
So here we go. Okay, so when you look at Johnny Bench, right, you can see that his career batting average here is not extremely high, 267. But when you look at the home run numbers, right, and he was an MVP in 70, 45 home runs, 148 RBIs, 40 home runs, 125 RBIs, 33 home runs, 129 RBIs. So obviously the man, and in those 2 years where he had the MVPs, 70 and 72, his OPS was off the charts at for a catcher at 932 and 920. And like I say, I mean, if you look at his career numbers, 389 home runs, 1,376 RBIs, 68 stolen bases, which for a catcher is pretty good, I think. And he didn't strike out a ton, 1,278 times, and he walked, about 3/4 of that. So I mean, there's a lot of I think the average for Rutschman in his first 3 years is similar. I don't think when you look at the average home run numbers, I think Bench's certainly
Mm-hmm.
most years was until he got to be like in like 78 and so on. But from 68 through, let's say, 77, the home run numbers were pretty good. One, two, three, 4 years above 30 home runs. So, and Rutschman does play in a park where I think you can hit a few more home runs. But
Yeah.
but that might be that might give
Yeah. Okay.
that might give people something to think about, as far as
We'll see what he continues to do. If he continues that downward trend, I mean, you're not going to make it into
right,
the Hall of Fame after a couple of years that were really good and then you just trend downward.
right.
So,
So
does he have a shot?
pretender,
Okay.
pretender or contender,
After just 3 years, you want just
or
2 years?
or
Potential.
potential.
Potential's there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm not. He's not a pretender, but
I'm
I
just a
can't
little
yet
worried.
say he's
I'm
a
a little worried about his
contender.
average. I'm a little
Yeah.
worried about his average. But yeah. But beside that, I think he's got all the tools.
And I think he's got the characteristics
Sure.
of someone that you want in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. All right. Moving along to the next guy, Riley Green. Okay, here's another guy. Everybody talked about. Oh man, Riley Green. Riley Green. Everybody loves Riley Green. And Riley Green is a good player. I mean, the Tigers have got the best record, I think. Last I checked, the best record in the American League.
Mm.
And along with Torkelson, who was another guy that people talked about right early on. I mean, those two guys are still there. I'm not sure that they're, what I would call having super great seasons. They're having good seasons.
Yeah.
And I think Green is got some potential. I think Torkelson's got some potential too. But the guy we're talking about right now is Green. So let's take a quick look at his numbers and see what we got
I
here.
don't know much about him.
Well,
Plays for the Tigers, so
you will after this.
okay.
So when we look at Riley Green here, we can see that his numbers here in 2023 were decent. He had a 288 batting average. He only had 11 home runs, but he only was in 99 games. So I mean, I think that's unrealistic to really put too high of a expect too high of a total on the home runs and RBIs and that type of thing. In 2024, he had a much better season as far as numbers goes. 24 home runs, 74 RBIs, 262 batting average. So his batting average dropped off a little bit, but not terribly. And I'd say the OPS and slugging were essentially the same. Excuse me, the OPS was slightly higher, and so was the slugging, slightly higher in 2024. And then in 2025 so far, 273, and again,
pretty much the same.
similar numbers, right?
Yeah.
But he's contributing. The average is holding up there okay so far, 273. And he's got 10 home runs so far, 27 RBI. So he's, in 42 games, that's not bad, right?
No.
I mean,
if you go back to the season that he played 99 games and he had 11 home runs total,
Yep.
He's half the games and more home runs.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
And.
So he's a pretty decent player.
Yeah, and like I say, he's fundamentally, he's a good fundamental defensive player. He's got a good arm. He's got good instincts. He'll steal some bases, right? He can hit. I like his. From what I've seen of him, watching MLB, his what I would call his the way he presents himself, coming into games, his instincts are pretty good, and I think he's one of these guys that 10 years from now we could be saying, man, he got better every year a little bit. His home run totals got up there a little bit higher. I don't see him as a 320 hitter or a 310 hitter, but I can certainly see him as like a 275, 280 hitter. And if he's got good players around him, I think he can really do a lot of damage as a hitter. Along with that Tiger staff, they're pretty good. I mean, you got Scooble over there. You've got Casey Mize. They really are quite talented. And the one thing that they do really well is they don't make a lot of defensive mistakes. I mean, when we played them, you saw that they didn't run into outs.
Sound.
Right, they didn't run into outs. They didn't boot balls. When they had a chance to score, 9 times out of 10 they usually did. We had games that we should have won from them, right? But our bullpen gave it up. And if it wasn't the bullpen, it was making
Running
blunders.
into errors.
Right, it was just
running into outs.
Well,
Good
yeah,
Lord, guys. Yeah.
I mean, they were
Yep.
they were making just fundamental errors.
Yep. And Detroit played sound baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, I think for me, I think Green's, I think Green's got a lot of potential. I would call him contender, because I think he's got pretty good numbers, and I think the upside for him is
pretty high.
Is there? Well, yeah, I think it's higher than it is right now. I mean, again, this is a guy, a lot of time. I just talked about this. A lot of time you'll have guys, I don't know, takes sometimes 4 years to really find their own. They might have a few good moments in those first 3 years, but they don't really bloom. They don't really flourish.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I like I said, I don't really know him that well, so
yeah,
I'll defer to you.
Okay, all right. Next guy, Brian Bayo. Okay. Now, what I'm going to say about Bayo is his last year, and this is from a fan myself of him, and a Red Sox fan who watches many of his starts. Not everyone, but because I work, I don't get home sometimes until
You work?
8:00. Yeah, 8:30. I will watch the highlights though, but yeah, Bayo's one of these guys. He's mentored under Pedro Martinez. He's got great stuff, which I think he's still trying to harness. He's got the 2-seam, 4-seam, changeup, sweeper, or a slider. He's got 4 good pitches. The problem that he's having right now is that his changeup, there isn't enough of a difference in speed in his changeup. So he's got about, instead of like a 9 mile an hour difference, it's about a 7 mile an hour difference. So he's that ball's hit, that
Easier to
particular
hiccup.
pitch is getting hit a little bit more.
Yeah.
But once he makes that adjustment, because he's been working on this on his slider a little bit to offset the 2 seam and 4 seam. So if you watched him last year, though, he was 14-8. He got very little run support, but his numbers were good. He was healthy. I think he pitched. He had 30 starts. This year in spring training, he got a lat problem, so he started the season kind of late. He didn't come in till about maybe about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, something like that. So he missed basically all of April, and or to the
Most.
tail end of April.
Yeah.
And I think he's still trying to find his way here, but I mean, I think he should have 2 more wins. I think Cora cost him 2 wins, but he's like 2-1 right now. So, but I like his potential. I think once he really figures it out, he's still a young guy. I think as this season goes on, I think his pitch selection and accuracy will be better than it is right now. Michelle, what do you think?
Yeah, I like Brian Bayo. His upside is really pretty good, but his he's one of those kids that I call him a kid because he really is. He needs to learn how to harness his own emotion, and you could see that last year way worse than this year. This year he has matured, and he can control it a little bit better. But once he realizes, I shouldn't say realizes his potential, but once he understands the work that has to go into,
Yep.
and can, pull it out when he needs to, pull back when he doesn't, and become the actual pitcher rather than the thrower. I think he's got real potential. I think he's definitely a contender, but he's got to control his emotions, and he's got to figure out how do you tame that emotion in a productive way.
Right.
Because we love fire. I mean, Pedro's fire was just contagious, and just, it was amazing. It was part of what made him such a great pitcher.
Yeah.
But Bayo hasn't learned how to harness that and use it
to his advantage.
Yeah, use it as an advantage yet. But I mean, I think he will. I mean, especially if he continues to work with Pedro.
Yep.
And I just wish I could see him under a different manager. Maybe he would do better, sort of like Dobby Ballback. Yeah, Bobby Dahlback.
Yeah.
He got railroaded, and I think
no question.
under a different manager. I wonder how Bayo would be. I guess we'll never know, but
Sure.
I think he needs the right tutelage, and I think he's got it with Pedro, but he needs a manager that's going to trust him.
Well, and
more.
I would just say one thing. I think he has a good pitching coach too.
Yeah, Bailey's good.
Bailey's really
very
good.
Yep.
And the one thing I really like about him is, he's got a lot of fire, and he's got that. If you watch him, folks, if you watch this guy pitch, and I've seen it a couple times. I saw it last year in Atlanta when Acuna hit that home run, and basically, when he did the bat flip, Bayo
was
was watching
okay,
him
I remember
go
that.
all the way around the bases, saying, "You'll never do that again because I'm gonna pop you the next time." I mean, he's got a lot of fire. He pitches with a lot of emotion. I think you're right. Once he learns how to really get on top of that, I think he's gonna be fine. I had him at 15 wins this year. Now that might be a stretch. We'll see where he goes. We'll see. He's got to
How many more
get.
games is he going to get yanked before he can get credit for the win?
He's got to get the length, right? He's got to get the length
That's
here,
part
and
of it.
yeah, and he's got to stay healthy, of course. He had a couple of minor leg issues, I think, last year that cost him a little bit of time, and the lap problem here. But so far, I mean, when you watch him throw, he's got a nice,
Looks
easy,
easy. Yeah.
nice and easy. It's not
Yeah.
this violent,
No herky
you
jerky.
know.
There's a nice follow
Right,
through. This,
right,
yeah, it's not a snap recoil.
right. Like
It's nice
Sale
and
and some of these
smooth.
other guys, right?
Yeah, it's nice
Yeah,
and smooth. Yeah,
yeah. So I think the potential for him is
yeah,
high.
yep,
We'll see where he goes. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to get there.
yep,
And no matter what Cora tries to do to him, you know. But anyway, let's move on. We got
yep.
two more guys. Here's our fourth guy right here, and we're going to talk about Gunnar Henderson. Now we
Who?
Gunnar Henderson, right? Who? Right. He's Gunnar had a great year there. Was it last year? I think he had all the home runs. But yeah, he is quite a ball player, and he's a pretty good outfielder, and he's one of those guys. He's a catalyst. He's a fire starter. He knows how to
He is tender.
get things rolling, and let's just take a quick look at his stats. Here we go, boom, and let's see what we're looking at here now in 2023. Great season. 28 home runs, 82 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. 56 steals. That's pretty darn good too.
Mm-hmm.
And the OPS slugging, good, not great, good. 2024 again, much better numbers. 37 home runs, 92 RBIs, 78 walks. So he's selective, right? If he's starting to work his way up, you can see the walk totals coming up. So he's starting to figure it out a little bit. And also the OPS was up a little bit, and the slugging overall was up. So far this year, I would say okay. 6 home runs, 12 RBIs, 268 batting average. So, I mean, again, I mean, what you like to see in players that really have talent, that might get to that next level or 2 levels above where they're at right now, is you want to see those numbers keep tweaking up. Now, not necessarily the home run numbers, let's say, but the hits, the average, the walks,
Yeah.
strikeouts go down, right?
Walk
Right.
ratio.
Yeah, those are the types of things that
Yeah.
you want to see. A lot of these young players expand on, right?
Yeah.
So they can physically get to that next level. And that takes a lot of, and you've got to have a lot of concentration. You've got to have a lot of drive. You've got to have a lot of you got to have a lot of work ethic. And I think this guy does it. I think he checks a lot of the boxes for me.
Yeah.
I love the way he plays. He plays all out. He plays hard. He's a dirt dog. He plays with emotion.
Yeah.
And I think the Orioles are really lucky to have him. It's too bad that, like I said, the Orioles didn't go out and get anybody. I mean, other than O'Neill and.
And then he got hurt right off the
Right,
bat. I mean,
and-
he's not doing anything now. So
Right, Charlie
Yeah.
Morton. Charlie Morton's 40 years old. I mean, I love Charlie Morton. Charlie
But-
Morton's a great pitcher. He's been a great pitcher his whole career. I mean, once he figured it out. But geez, Crow, come on,
yeah.
give
yeah.
him somebody. I mean, that's just wrong. When you got a rookie class like that, a core,
Right, because we all thought, a couple of years ago, we're like, oh boy, here come the Orioles. They're going
Right.
to be good for a long time now.
101 wins.
And it's like, what just happened to the Orioles?
There's 17 games under
It's like-
500.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Yeah,
But-
but no, Gunnar Henderson is, I was teasing earlier when I said Gunnar. Who?
Yeah, right,
What?
exactly.
But no.
we still got
he's-
3 more games
yeah.
against them, so I'm
I
sure
know.
we're going to hear from him.
Yeah.
I mean, we already heard from Rutschman. He got at least, I think, 1 hit in that game, in
Mm-hmm.
the first game, 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah.
So but I would say contender for
Yeah.
Gunnar Henderson
Yeah.
for sure, right?
Yeah.
So I think I think the hype
Got some good.
I think the hype for him is warranted. I'm not so sure about the other guys so much. Rutschman. I think Rutschman's there. I want to see what he does
He's
in the
on
next couple of
edge.
years.
He's
right.
on the edge.
Right. And I think Green's one of these solid players. I don't think
Yeah.
he's a superstar player, you know.
Right.
And look, you need those guys.
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely. You
every
can't
team
have a real good
needs
team without those
right.
real good solid players.
They're glue guys.
Yeah.
These are guys
Yeah,
that
those role players
that
that
fuse
need
the
to be
team,
there. Yeah.
right? You know, and then if you look at that Tiger team, I mean, with Baez and Torkelson and you know um, Riley Green, you've got the other guy there. Trying to think of. I can't think of his name, but they've got two or three other guys on that team that are all pretty good players, and they really are quite talented, and they have a good pitching staff. So I think they're going to be there. The only question that I have about the Tigers is will they be able to score enough runs? You know, because if you run into a team, let's say I'll use the Yankees as an example, and let's say the Yankees are healthy. You know, let's say they get Giancarlo Stanton back, and you know they've got the rest of these guys like Bellinger and all that, and Goldschmidt and the whole 9 yards, and they start going to town on the Tigers. I mean, I don't think the Tigers have any shot in staying with them. You know, now if the pitching can hold down a team like the Yankees, which I'm not sure that they can, you know, way down, I think that you know I think the Tigers have a shot. But the one good thing about the Tigers, I said earlier, was they don't make mistakes. They play fundamentally sound
Yep.
baseball, and they're a well managed team too. I might add, you know, unlike the Boston Red Sox. All right, moving on. Last guy, Michael Harris from the Braves, and Michael Harris made quite a splash in 2023. Good center fielder, great glove, good instincts, pretty good hitter. The one bugaboo for him, leg injuries. So many leg injuries, mostly like a thigh or groin, or not so much the hamstring, but the thigh, the groin, and that cost him so much time. It's like unbelievable, you know. It's like holy cow, and I don't have his numbers up here, but I'm not gonna. We don't have to put him up there, but I mean, uh, I, the thing I like about Harris is again he's another one of these guys that fits right in with that Braves team. They hold themselves accountable. Olson, Asuna, um, you got Riley, Acuna, all those guys. They're all good up and down the line. And now that they got Strider back, you know, watch the Braves start taking off here. I mean,
Well, the Braves are a team that their team culture of you work hard because I'm working hard, you best do your best, etc. And just the accountability piece. I mean, just look what it's done for Verdugo.
yep,
You know,
yep,
Doogie was a good player for us,
sure,
and he clashed with management
yep,
or Cora or whatever. Some of it his own doing, I will admit.
yep,
Okay, he was a young guy. He didn't make the best decisions. Shipped him off to New York. What did he do? Not much. Not much. Too many fatheads. Too many I play for me
yep,
players.
yep,
You know, you got Judge there who he can't rein in all those egos, or he couldn't. Um, you know, but you got Doogie going down to Atlanta. Now look what he's doing.
yep.
He's flourishing. He's blooming again. He's back to being the Doogie. And you know, Michael Harris is one of those kids that is going to flourish under that type of team culture
Well,
and
the,
sentiments
well,
too.
the Braves took a flyer on him, and they sent him down to minor leagues for a short while, and they had Brian De La Cruz up there,
Yeah,
who's a good player too, by the way. And they sent him down because they needed a spark,
yeah.
and they brought up Verdugo, and he hasn't hit leadoff in every game, but most of the time he's been hitting leadoff.
You
And
need a spark. You,
and right,
Doogie will provide it.
oh yeah, he's fiery too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the only question is, I think that he had to get his ego in check, right? He got to park that ego at the door. But I mean,
Yeah.
the Braves essentially are a really good team, and you know
They are.
the one thing I will say about the Braves, and this was brought up the other day with Sitnick there, was when um, I'm trying to think of what's his face that wasn't running out the ball there,
Mm.
and they
Oh shoot.
yeah it's he played for the he was anyway. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
it's
I can't remember, but the
it'll
scenario was someone
it'll
didn't run out the ball, and they turned around. And it's like, well, do you always run out the ball? And they like, yep, you're right. I got to run out the ball.
well
And
Acuna got on social media, and he said if that had been me,
I'd have been benched.
he'd have been benched, right? And he was right, and I agree
Mm-hmm.
with him. And Sitnick said, well, I didn't really see the play, and I didn't. I mean, because he said, well, most of the
I was
time,
looking over there.
well, no, he said most of the time, he said he's running with his hair on fire, and that's true. The particular player in question does, but this particular time he was not, and what
They call
what
each other
Sitnick
out.
what Sitnick should have done was he said, and the next morning, the next day when they talked to him about it, he said, yeah, I didn't see it until the next morning. When I saw it the next morning, I saw the replay of it. He said, then I went and I talked to him, and from that point on, he went down to he got less and less playing time until he ended up down in the minor leagues again. So I mean, but and then Acuna was they made Acuna felt like he had to, because he had a lot of pressure on him, to apologize for it. I wouldn't apologize for that because
It's
it's
hold them accountable.
yeah, but I just thought that was I just thought that was very telling, that if you're going to hold Acuna accountable, you better hold this guy accountable, right? You better get on the horn and say, hey, I need to talk to you right now in the office.
You should be hardest on your best players,
Of course.
and then everyone else will fall in line.
Yep, I
But
agree.
if you just let your better talent be lazy,
Yep.
then guess what? Your team's not going to be that good.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I think Harris is a good player. I think he's got the tools. I
Let's see
want
if he
to I
holds
want to
up.
see what he does going forward. So I think there's potential there too. I mean, I think the one guy that we can probably say that has the most potential is probably Henderson, out of the five. Or the highest rating from us,
Yeah,
is Gunnar Henderson, and then I think it's probably after that. I'd say it's
Rushman,
probably,
Bayo.
yeah, it could be Harrison there, maybe Rutschman. Like I said, the one thing with Rutschman is I don't think the average is gonna hold up long term, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
He
see.
could prove you different.
Right.
But
Anyway, so we're
all
gonna
right, let's get back to the fat packs.
yeah. So that's what's on the
Wrap.
docket, and
What's on the docket?
we're gonna move on to the fat packs here and finish up this break. All right. So thanks for sticking with us, folks, and thanks for. If you've got any comments on some of the stuff that we just talked about, with any of those five
Yeah,
players,
absolutely.
we'd love to hear them. We'd love to hear the comments.
Yep.
You know?
We don't mind controversy.
No, I mean,
You know,
negative or
different-
positive.
Different opinions are good.
Right. All right. First
There goes
pat
the
back
dog
here.
again.
Haniger, McKinnon, Osuna, Rogers,
what she's-
Stowers.
Going on.
Stowers rookie. That's a good one, right there.
Shoot, I just missed a rookie. Thanks, Rev.
Stowers. You missed Kyle Stowers. Cesar Hernandez, McCormick, Clark, Reyes, Marco Gonzalez, Vargas. We've seen these, so we'll go a little faster. Seawald. And what we got here? Nolan Jones, Ketel Marte, Keith Brian Hayes. And we got a chrome right here of Rafi. Boom, that's a good one. Put that off to the side. Whoa. And we got Welcome to the Club, Cedric Mullins, and Pete Alonso. Mookie Betts. Jonathan Daza. Eric Fetty. Altuve. Santatella. Scott Barlow. Corey Newble. And we got Adley again. Set him aside. And Aaron Judge. Herrera. That's his rookie. Why don't we set him aside? He's having a good season. He's worth it. Seth Brown. Buddy Kennedy. RBI leaders, NL. Alonzo, Goldschmidt, Lindor. And we got the Indians, or Guardians, I should say. Old habits die hard, folks. Mark Counter and Kyle Hendricks, and finally Ozzy Albies. All right, nothing in that one. Let's see what this second one brings us. We got 4 more of these, and then we're going to call it good. Whoa, watch out now. Hot potato. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got in this one. All right, second fat pack. Votto, Miller. Here's Roberts again. Kiermaier, Langoliers, send him aside. Harper, Ian Anderson, Duvall, Castillo, Wisdom, Graham Ashcraft, and Mookie Remuto. Something turned over here. Let's see what we got there. Zach Thompson and Chris Bryant. Is this a rainbow foil or is this something else? Let's see what we got here. Whoop, what's this? Geez, they stuck together. Holy cow. All right, yeah, rainbow foil. Frank Schwindel. All right, it's not great, but we'll take it. And got the NL home run leaders: Schwarber, Alonso, and Riley. Get that out of the way. Okay, and then we got 88 Liberatore, Pete Alonso, and Mookie. So we did get one rainbow foil out of that one. O'Neill Cruz, Alonso, Rutschman again, picking up plenty of Adley rookies. We got 3 of him. Herrera again. So I think that's our 3rd one of him as well. They're in the same correlation. And the Nationals. And wins leaders from the AL. Verlander, Valdez, and Manoah. And walk off by Here Come the Good. Luis Arise. Josh Donaldson. And Kepler. And Minter. Alfaro. Man, these things are so turned around upside down. And the Giants. So you missed a rainbow foil. That's it.
That's all right. I'll see you in the recap.
Yep, we'll see you in the recap.
No, our little protector.
What was she barking at? Who knows?
We had a raccoon in the backyard, Dad.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Where was it? How far down back?
Oh, down almost to the river.
Okay. All right, number 3. Vasquez, Bundy. Turn him around. On the ground. Lonich. That is rookie. No. I wonder what his rookie is. Trevor Lonich.
I thought he was.
Was that his rookie?
I don't know.
No, that's not his rookie. No. All right. Let's see. Steele Walker, Timmy Anderson, G-Man Choi, and Hunter Brown. We know that's his rookie. We highlighted him in the opening of the break of the 2023 Series 1. Drury. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Harper, Encarnacion, Ian Anderson, Duvall, Castillo, and Patrick Wisdom. All right, here's the good stuff. This is a chrome of Riley Green.
Imagine that.
Alex Manoah, 88. Stars of MLB, Albies, Gorman, Brandon Marsh, Scherzer, Mitchell, Skubal, Michael Givens, and Gavin Sheets. Boy, Gavin Sheets had a nice game. Had a nice game. He hit 2 home runs in the game yesterday. They lost. Soto, Alvarez, Gonsolin, and Diamondbacks, Angels, wins leaders. Saw that one. And Hernandez, Teoscar. All right, we only got 2 left. Man, this has been very, very rough, which I'm not surprised by. But we'll see. We still got 2, so keep your fingers crossed. See what we can find. Maybe we'll have a fantastic finish. Who knows? All right, let's see what we got. Oh, we got something in here. I don't know what's in this one. We'll see. All right, Gibson. There's Bale. Put him over there. And Keegan Thompson, Cronenworth, Severin. Yeah, there's Shohei. Good one to him, huh?
Mm.
Okay, Aaronola, Clanahan, Hap, Gallegos, and Miguel Vargas. Santander, struggling. Oh, look at that. There we go.
Nice one.
Yeah, here we are.
Bregman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we finally got something. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Alex Bregman. Yep, that is a nice Alex Bregman. Let's get a little close up of that here, right there. Yeah.
Sweet.
Pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so we didn't get shut out completely.
There
We
you
got
go.
Alex Bregman. Let's sleeve that up. Let's sleeve
Absolutely.
it up. Sleeve it up. All
I
right.
tell you, he is.
What a great player for us.
I
mean,
tell you, he was not overhyped.
No.
He is as advertised, folks.
Nice one there. That's a good one. We'll
Yeah.
take that. All right, what else do we
Oh,
got
wait
here?
a minute. We don't take that. We give this away.
No,
folks.
no. But
Anything? No, I'm just
yeah, right.
just reminding people.
Yeah. George
This-
Kirby,
This is all good stuff.
retail blue.
Oh yeah, that dark blue. I like that.
Yeah. And then we got let's see, greatest
Aaron
hits.
Judge, that's a
Aaron
nice
Judge. Yeah, Aaron Judge, 2022 greatest hits. Stars of MLB. Boom. Albies. Sheets. Margot. Green. Stroman. And we got Albert Pujols in his finale. Cade Cavalli. Springs. Quantrill. Soto. We've seen all of these 2 or 3 times now. And Michael Harris again. It's a good one. This rookie. Throw that into the rookie pile. All right. Last but not least, the final.
Can we get another relic?
Listen, getting one out of the fat packs or the hangers. If you
That was pretty good.
if you got autographs or an autograph or a relic out of a hanger or a fat pack in 2023 Series 1, consider yourself very, very fortunate. All right, last but not least, here we go. Sanchez, DeGrom, Bellinger. Let's see, Garcia. Let's zip through these a little quicker. Syndergaard. Oh, Jack Selinsky. I don't think we saw him. Maybe once. Palacios. Merrill Kelly. No, I don't think we saw this run. Let's see here. Marte. Okay, Brian Hayes. Yelich. Yeah, we haven't seen these. Hoskins. Oh, another one. Look at that. Wow. And it's
And it's a Salvi.
Salva, yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a
I
nice
mean,
one.
I mean, I think it's a good one. I mean, Bregman,
Yeah.
Someone might say, well, it's not Judge, it's not Acuna, whatever.
Salvi is a solid player who's been around forever.
He's been a great catcher.
He has been awesome.
He really has been.
That's great.
Yeah, look at that. Well, take it easy. Take it easy here.
Don't hurt it. Sleeve it up.
I know. It's nice.
Nice.
Very nice. Jeez,
I called it, Dad. I called it.
I don't want to dent the corner here. I mean, we've pulled them out of hangers that have been all
Oh yeah.
messed up.
That's awesome. 2 relics.
2 relics. Yeah, very nice.
We'll take that.
Oh, absolutely.
And everyone heard it. I called it.
Yes, you did. So there you go. That's at least we got 2 hits.
Yep.
2 major. I mean, I would say it's a win in my book. When
Right.
you have four hanger boxes and 5 fat packs, and you get 2 relics. That's a win. That's a win for me. Okay, last but not least, here we go. The last little bit of it here. Gorman. And then we'll finish these off. See if there's any other rookies worth pulling out. Okay. Places. Chavis. Michael Grove. Vogelback again. VR. Hendricks. Springs. And Quantrill, and we got the landscape cards again. Here we go. Rough, Braves, home run leaders, and Zach Thompson. Last but not least, Toronto. Toronto Celebration. So, let's do a quick recap on the major stuff. I'll sleeve this up. What the hell?
Remind people.
Yeah,
while
I
he's
will.
doing that.
I will. Yeah, as you heard me talk at the start of this break, again, I just want to say it one more time. We're giving all these cards away. Everything you see here, we're giving away. Everything. Every card, every autograph, every relic, every rookie, it doesn't matter. And all you got to do is have a PayPal account and leave us a comment in the comments section. And like and subscribe, by the way. And hit the notification button so you can follow us. And then what we do is we'll split all of these cards up here. Everything that you see. Everything, all of these cards, the total number of cards. Let's say there's the hang-up boxes are 67 cards. And I think the fat packs are like, 35? 35? 36. 36 cards. So do the math. And we usually split them up in like hundreds or 125, something like that. And we'll pull some names. And once we need to get 10 individuals that leave a comment that want to be in the drawing. Once we get 10, then what I'll do is I'll run it in the randomizer and I'll pull some names out and send them on their way. 1 cent is all you have to send us. The reason why we want you that you need to send 1 cent to us is so we have your shipping address. You've probably seen like guys like Jabs do this, right? I mean, all we're trying to do is just, so we can get your shipping address. Once we box the cards up, they'll be shipped out. All the shipping is included. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just send us the 1 cent and you're good. So, let's get the recap. All right, we'll look at the good stuff first, which is the Savvy Perez, Major League Material, nice one. We've got George Kirby, which I think is pretty nice. Nice blue. And then Alex Bregman, it's 88 style. Relic. Nice. And then we'll go through these real quick. We've got a bunch of rookies here. We've got Michael Harris and Bayo. Jeez.
You did it to yourself.
I know. I did it to myself, right? Riley Green, Chrome. Hunter Brown, rookie. Herrera. We got more than one Herrera. I think there's another Herrera in here somewhere. I'll pull him out too. Rutschman. Frank Schwindel in the rainbow foil. Langoliers rookie. Herrera again. Rutschman again. Another chrome of Devers. And then we've got Kyle Stowers. JJ Baudet. Harris again. Jonathan Aranda. Langoliers. Bayo. And Gurriel. 1 gold card. Jordan Romano. Yep. And then we got Langoliers again and Rutschman. So, that is going to do it for us. We appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification buttons. It really does help us. And like I said, if you're interested in these cards, leave us a comment. Say you want to get into drawing, and we'll take it from there. With that, we're going to wrap this up. We appreciate you stopping by. And until next time, we will see you then. So long.